Hey guys, so I just got back with Elsa from the vet. So the intention of this vet visit was to give her a full exam so that I can make sure that she's not acting aggressively because of physical pain. So this was the plan all along, but I could only do that after I got her to the point where she wasn't like trying to eat your hand at any movement toward her, because I didn't want the vet visit to be, I wanted the vet visit to be as least conflict as possible. So I took her as far as I could before checking that box, and now that we've gotten to that point, that box needed to be checked. So took her in, they sedated her. Did a full exam. She had to be fully sedated because she, tries to eat people. And that's not all that conducive for looking in your mouth and looking at all of her body and all that while she's trying to eat them. So she had to be knocked out. And she apparently was very, very aggressive with them, which doesn't surprise me at all. Pip, get out of here. Because, you've seen her be aggressive on the videos that I've taken. So that didn't surprise me at all. It's not great, obviously, but it didn't surprise me. So everything is physically fine with her. She's got some bumps on her skin that are essentially just warts that come from old age, because she is 10-ish. So it's just kind of to be expected with older age. Her teeth are all kinds of jacked up, but nothing that would be causing her pain, and nothing that they could fix without really expensive surgery that probably isn't necessary. So that's good news. She doesn't have anything physically wrong with her. So that's good news. They did prescribe. Here, let me take advantage here. She loves the snow. She loves it. Pip, leave her alone. Pip. Leave her alone. She loves the snow. Imagine that. A dog named Elsa, who is an American Eskimo dog, loves the snow. Go figure. Anyway, so they did prescribe her with anti-anxiety meds. So they gave her fluoxetine and Xanax. Abe was on fluoxetine, which is essentially generic Prozac. He was on fluoxetine for 6 to 8 months. So meds definitely have a place in behavior mod, because the intention of training, the training process, is to get the training to kind of trump the emotion, and have the dog learn that emotion isn't necessary and there's better ways to handle things, that they don't have anything to be afraid of. So that's the purpose of the training. So in theory, that sounds great. But when the emotion is way up here, it's really hard to get the training to be able to trump the emotion. So meds absolutely have, hi Dan, have a place in behavior mod, but I don't know that they are the answer or necessary in this case. So Abe, like I said, was on meds for a long time, because he was just so fearful, so anxious, that he couldn't really function in the real world. And when you have a dog that doesn't function in the real world, it's really hard to do any behavior modification with them because they can't function. So he was just in a really bad place, so meds made sense for him. I don't know that meds make sense for her, for the anti-anxiety stuff. And I actually ran into the vet on the way out, the vet that prescribed them to her, and she asked, she's like, I hope you're okay with those behavior meds that I prescribed. And I said, yeah, I mean, I'm definitely not opposed to meds in general, but I don't know that it's necessary for this specific case, because 99% of the time there's zero anxiety. Like, she doesn't live her life as an anxious dog. She lives her life as a very content dog that just doesn't like to be handled. And I said that, and I said, now that I know it's not physical pain, it leads me to believe that it's not like a mental chemical imbalance, that it's behavioral. And the vet said, well, what do you think behavior is? It's mental. I'm like, oh yeah, absolutely. I realize that. And I'm not saying that this is something that she 100% has control of and that she's just being a dick. Like, I don't think that's the case at all. There is some fear there, and I get that. And the vet was like, you know, there's a lot of aggression comes from fear, and she was very aggressive with us. And I'm like, oh yeah, like, that doesn't surprise me at all. Like, I've seen it. Absolutely. It doesn't surprise me at all that she was all that aggressive. And I'm not saying that that's okay, because it's not. But I'm not going to use the fact that she was really aggressive with the vet as a singular barometer to judge her progress. Because there's a lot of dogs that are aggressive with the vet and otherwise would not be. So I'm still going to address it and still get her to be able to be handled and all that, but I'm not going to be freaked out or scared off by the fact that she was aggressive with the vet. Like, I get it. It's not a pleasant experience for any dog. So, especially with a dog that has a tendency toward a lot of this aggressive behavior. It doesn't surprise me that she's aggressive with the vet. But the vet that I talked to really was not all that happy. Well, I mean, I can't really judge because I only talked to her for a couple minutes, but she really just did not seem happy with the idea that I might not be giving her these meds. And I told her, I'm like, I'm not saying that I absolutely won't. I'm just saying, now that I've checked the box that she's not behaving this way out of physical pain, now I can really kind of explore my options. So, and it's getting cold, so I put her in her crate in the house here. So, I'm leaning toward not giving her these meds. Because, like I said, she can function just fine. It's just the one specific situation where she doesn't function well. She tries to eat you. So, I need to think about it. It's not something that I'm just going to say, I'm not going to do that. I do need to think about it. But I've taken her really far along in this process without meds. So I'm gonna see how far I can take her. And honestly, she's doing really well with the process that I'm doing now. So essentially, and you've seen all the videos and things, I have them all posted. I don't work with her outside of those sessions, except when I take her out to potty. So like if I'll bring her inside from pottying, and you know, maybe I'll pet her for a second or two, and then, you know, we go about our business. But everything that I've done with Elsa is on video, so you can see everything that I'm doing and you can see her progress. I don't see a need for the anti-anxiety meds on a daily basis in this case. I'm not a huge fan of drugging a dog unnecessarily, and I don't think that the vet is intending to do that by any means. But I don't see the need in this case yet. So I did take the meds. I didn't say I'm not going to give those to them. I'm not going to take them. I did take them. If I decide not to use them, I'll just give them to the director of the shelter, and she can use them for another dog that might get prescribed later on down the road, or however she wants to deal with that. But we'll see how she progresses. The plan is I'm just going to continue working her as normal, as I have been, and see how far I can take her while building her confidence and doing all the things that I've been doing. So stay tuned for more progress with her. Good news that she's not in any physical pain, so that's great. So stay tuned for more progress.